Alright, let's see. I'll make a little video on installing this pop and lock thing for my Leer camper shell. I think it's somewhere on here. I don't know what model it is. We're gonna get it going though. I'm going a different route than what it shows in instructions. I took off the panel, my tailgate panel here, and located the power lock and unlock switch, which is this little connector right here. Took that guy out. And this is a 2018 XLT. And there's the two wires that lock and unlock the tailgate. Mine has a power tailgate lock, so if yours doesn't have it, I don't know what to tell you. All right, the first step was locate and remove the emergency release handle with this one screw right here. Okay, so after the handle's removed, then you slide the locking mechanism over. You have to really push it back on there because there's not much clearance for that big old retainer clip. You can zoom out a little bit. Yeah, big old retainer clip to slide in there and lock in place. And then I see now I'm going to have to disconnect that cable that runs through that channel right there, and then run it through this little hole where it says to, in the instructions for the pop lock, it says to run it through this little bitty hole that's in the casing. So I'm gonna disconnect that part and I'll be back. In order to get that cable out, there's a little set screw on the bottom, and it's a 3/32 inch Allen wrench. So you can loosen that set screw up, and then you can pull the cable right out. Be back. Okay, I got that cable back through the little hole that it says to do in instructions, and then run it back through that channel. And now I just got to hook it back up where it was. I actually might tighten it up just about a 1/4 inch because it was a little loose. And then put that retainer back on, and we can get the wiring. Okay, now I got this guy back on, that guy back on, and I'm actually gonna have to loosen it. I tightened it a little bit, but it's too tight. And now if you push on my lid, it actually opens up. It doesn't lock all the way, but because it's already got tension on it. And that's actually due because when you run it through this hole, you're actually putting less play in it. So I'll get that all figured out. I'm just gonna have to tweak it a little bit, but we'll get it going. But the locking mechanism is on and we're good to go. Okay, I got that thing adjusted. My wires are on in the book, and the instructions for that came with the pop lock shows the wires running underneath, but I didn't like that because it just looked like it was going to be rubbing against that cable every time it unlocked. So I ran it on top and put the wire across like it shows, and ran it up the side. Gave it some slack, enough slack so that when you open it, see if I can get this to work. I'm gonna open it with this emergency lock, but it sure has enough slack up here, which it does. There's plenty of slack. And I just ran it along with my dome light wires, and I'll get all that wrapped up in the wire loom later. Just try looking for functionality in it right now. You can see it's got enough wire, slack, clocks, everything's clear. Turn this bed light off. Let's get a shot. And then we're gonna make our little connection to that wire that we ran up behind the tail light. And our connection right here. Right there, those connectors that came with it. Oh, Vic, let's go back here. In the instructions that came with the pop and lock, it says it has a red and a black wire. Well, mine came with a blue and a green wire. The top spot on this thing is lock, and the bottom is unlock. And it just so happens that my unlock wire down there is green and brown, mainly green. So I made that my unlock wire and putting it, so I went green to green just for simplicity. Now we're gonna get it all connected and make sure it works. But this wire is gonna go through the little hole here that's already provided on the driver's side. I had to remove the tail light, driver's side tail light, 2 8mm bolts. Pop it off. Sometimes you gotta wiggle it just a little bit, and then it's gonna come through here. You can see all my other wires for my LEDs, my bed lights, and all that. But this is the wire that I just ran through there. And there's all the slack that came with the package. Again, that wire is running down the side of the cover, down into that hole that already is there. Comes in behind the tail light, and then it drops down below in the undercarriage. Comes out down here, and I'll wire it up inside, and then it's gonna come in where the harness is. Let me see if I can get the light over here. Right up, almost dead center, but just to the left, the driver's side of dead center. You can see where the harness comes out, all the way at the top there. Up there. That's where it comes out from the tailgate and then goes through. And that's where I'm going to run the wire through with that wire, piece of wire that I already have going through the tailgate, and I'll pull it through. So I just took a piece of wire and ran it where the harness comes out through the tailgate down there. Now I'm going to splice in to these 2 wires. Looks like according to this thing I got off of F150forums.com, the green and brown is unlock, and the gray and brown is lock. And that's exactly what I have on here, on this connector. So that should make it a little more simple. I'm going to splice into those 2 wires and then pull it through and underneath the carriage, and then I'll start again. Alright, ran the wires. Pull. See if this works. Pull these guys back into the tailgate. And because I didn't run it all the way to the front of the truck, I got a ton of slack, but that's all right. Better too much than not enough. Okay, again, I went my green wire to the green and brown wire, and the blue wire to the gray and brown wire. And then when you lock it, that click. If I double unlock, you can hear it click. We're unlocked. Lock, hear it click, and we're locked. Solid. I'll do another test with the harness hooked back up with the locking mechanism. Lock. Unlock, Lock. Nice. I'll just get it all buttoned back up together. And I gotta put some wire loom around the wires, but all intent and purposes, we're in business. And that is, let me get that box. My installation of the pop and lock PL9772 on a 2018 F150 FX4.